It's a Minecraft survival farm complex, but it's vegan. I guess you lot can relax for now. Let's crack on with it. Hello everyone! Today I am doing you a farm complex with a difference that works in Bedrock and Java. At least I'll show you how to tweak it so it works in Bedrock. Today it is all about the veggies. All the mobs live to moo or cluck another day because this is a totally vegan farm complex with 14 different farms, and I'm going to show you how to make it block by block. This Minecraft vegan farm complex has got a footprint of 17 blocks by 18 blocks, although there will be some decorations that expand that ever so slightly around some of the sides. I've marked it out with some different areas here. If you want to pause the video or take a screenshot, please do so, and then you can use it to copy later. Let's crack on with it. This is the inventory list for this farm complex. Everything you see there are the exact number of things that you are going to need, with the exception of the mud brick slabs and also the planks. They indicate the number of stacks you need, not the number of blocks that you need. Let's get on with it. Now, I am going to show you this block by block as much as I can, but there will be a few little bits where I'm just going to lay the stuff out and then show you afterwards. That's because you don't want to see me just laying out blocks. It will probably be easier for you that way, and the video will be a bit shorter and you can get down to building your farm as soon as possible. Just like I've done on this section, I've got 7 hoppers there. I've also got 20 normal rails and I've got 16 powered rails sitting across 4 redstone blocks. All of those hoppers are feeding into this double chest. I've done that using shift click to make sure the hoppers are all connected up. This is the 17 long side that I'm walking along right now. Now, theoretically, we don't need any blocks placed on this area here, but these are 3x1 squares, which means spiders could spawn, and you don't really want that. So I'm just going to lay a load of blocks around the middle. It'll also help us access them a little bit later on. I'm going to put one over the hopper too, because the hopper will still work. I'm then going to lay dirt blocks on top of these rails. You'll notice they go up 1 block because the rail is taking up the entire block underneath it, even though it's flat. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Then on the inside row, I'm going to put a leaf block on the inside of all of these dirt blocks. Now, if you're doing bamboo and sugarcane, you only have to put the leaf blocks on that one side. If you're doing 2 loads of sugarcane, then put leaf blocks on both sides, like that. But I'm going to be doing bamboo, so I'm putting a normal block next to the other dirt. Make yourself a little hole 3 long and 1 wide. Place a water bucket at each end. That gives you an infinite water source, because you are going to waterlog all of those leaves. Now, this is the bit that makes Bedrock funky. If you're going to do this in Bedrock, you need to put a row of blocks underneath these leaves, and you need to block the leaves completely in, otherwise you're going to have water going all over the place. In Java, you can see that water just sits in those leaf blocks, absolutely no problem, doesn't go anywhere. I'm then going to place a row of blocks 2 high all the way around the farm. I'm not going to place a block on top of that there because that will stop the chest from being able to open, but I am going to put one there. I'm not going to put one anywhere here because we've got other plans for that little section, but I'm going to go 2 up all the way around everywhere else. In this little bottom section over the chest, I'm going to place an upside down stair just there, and then the chest opens perfectly. You can extend the dirt and the leaf blocks 1 block further out in each direction. However, you'll notice that puts them over the curve of the track. You may find that when it's on the curve of the track, the hopper minecart underneath it doesn't pick up anything that falls on that corner every single time. It's not 100% effective, so you may choose to not do that. I am going to do that, but it's entirely up to you. But again, if you are in Bedrock, do not do that, because the water will come out of the bottom of the leaf block and it will wash your track away, and no one needs that in their life. So again, for clarity, in Java, you can have these gaps, but in Bedrock, you've got to block all these gaps up, otherwise it's not going to work. You are then going to get a row of whatever decorative structural blocks you want and place them on the leaf block and also on the block on the back as well, whether it's a leaf block or something else. Place a hopper minecart down on that corner, but don't push it anywhere yet because the noise will get really annoying. Unless you're not bothered by the noise, in which case give it a push. And if you've done that, you can then put the extra leaf block and the dirt block there, if that's what you're doing and you're not in Bedrock. At this point, take out this block right here and place a chest in it, and then come to this side, take out that block and shift click a hopper into that chest. That's just a collection system for one of the other farms we're going to do. Stand on top of your row of structural blocks, and on the block on the inside here, place a torch there, and the block on the inside here, place another torch right there. That's enough light to keep this entire row from becoming spawnable. The last thing you want is some zombie or some creeper just popping up in there, which it could if you don't do this. And trapping any mob just ain't vegan. You're then going to put a piston facing outwards on both sides. That's a piston, not a sticky piston, because a sticky piston needs a slime ball. And a slime ball is a drop from a slime, which means it's not vegan. Then on top of all of these pistons, place an observer where the redstone bum is facing backwards towards the back of the piston. And now theoretically, you don't have to have an observer on every one. You could literally have an observer on just one of them if you only wanted to use just a very few observers. It's entirely up to what resources you want to use. With every extra observer, you just get a little bit more efficiency in the farm. Place a block on the back of all of the pistons. Make sure it's a redstone conductive block like wooden planks or stone or something like that, and then place redstone on top of each and every one. I've then built the walls up all the way around so they are one block higher than those observers, except for this front wall just here. Because on this side, I want a window. It comes in 2 blocks, and then I have a row of 3 high glass until 3 blocks to the end where I block it off again. I've then placed more of our structural blocks on top of the observers and a couple of torches in there so any redstone updates won't cause lag. Always remember to light up your redstone if it's possible. We're going to leave that for now and carry on with another section before we finish that bit off. So we're going to play with this row in the front right now. I'm going to start with this block here. I'm going to replace that with stone brick because that's what our floor is going to be. I'm then going to take out all of these. I'm going to place that with dirt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm then going to come to the other end. I'm going to replace that with a stone brick as well. I'm going to put an oak fence on there, an oak fence on there, and I'm going to put slab all the way across the top like that. And then just put a row of 8 sweet berries underneath it. This is a doddle farm, this one. Just slap the sweet berries when they grow the berries on, and you'll be able to collect them all up. And the slab across the top will stop you getting caught up in the sweet berries and all hurt. We're going to come to this end section here next. We're going to take out those 2 blocks there, and we're going to place a chest right there, and then we're going to place a hopper shift clicking into that chest. Now if you want to, you could turn that into a double chest. That's absolutely no problem. We're then going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 out. We're just going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 out, and then again those 2. Place a chest in right there and a hopper facing into that chest exactly like that. We're then going to fill this up with dirt all the way along like that on both of these sides. And then halfway along, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at 4, right here, we're going to take out that block like that. And then again, similarly, that block like that. We're going to put oak leaves in there and waterlog those oak leaves. Then hoe up all that dirt. And for those of you that are being tricky and saying, Avo, iron is a drop from an iron golem. Well, no. Dig your iron out the ground and then you can have hoppers. It's not a problem. Then build a little enclosure around it on the outside 2 high. Then right in this corner above this block, dig that one out and come really close and push a dispenser facing downwards over that block. That's perfect. Replace that block there and you are going to get a trapdoor and place it all the way along these 7 and then all the way along these 7 as well. Then place a solid block there, a solid block there, and a solid block there. Place a button on one of those 2 solid blocks, it doesn't matter which one. Then place upside down steps all the way except not the end. Same on the other side, just like that. So over the hopper you've got a gap. Place a fence there and a lantern underneath that fence, and then on this side a fence there and then a lantern underneath that fence. You can then hop up onto here and place yourself a water bucket inside that dispenser. You can then plant 2 different crops or the same crop if you wish. I'm going to put potatoes along this one like that, 7 lots of potato, and on this one I'm going to put 7 lots of carrot just like that. I can then flap up those trapdoors and wait for them to grow. Glowberries next. I've put a chest with a hopper going into it. You can see the nib there on those 2 blocks. I'm going to remove that block. I'm going to place a dispenser on that. I'm going to put a temporary block on the front of the dispenser using shift click, and then I'm going to get an observer. I'm going to place an observer with a redstone bum facing upwards. I can get rid of that block so the little redstone face is looking down over where that dispenser is facing out. I'm then going to put another block on top of that dispenser using shift click again, and then some redstone on top of the observer and one on top of that block. So when there's a redstone fart comes out, it powers both of those, powers the block and makes the dispenser work. I've then built the wall up all around it. I'm then going to grab some bone meal. I'm going to pop it into the dispenser just like that. I'm also then going to get a glowberry and I'm going to place it on the face of the observer. I do that and all of a sudden that bone meal is dispensed. I can then right click on this glowberry and it's going to continually give me glowberries like this, look, as the bone meal redistributes all those glowberries onto it. They're collected into the hopper and go into the chest. I do pick up a few myself. Now, you've got a choice here. You could leave this open like this and make that chest a double chest, or you could wall it up and make it an enclosed space. It's entirely up to you. I quite like this setup here. We've got a glowberry on the left-hand side and a lantern on the right-hand side suspended from a fence post. Double chest there, so there's plenty of room. We're nearly done. We're going to come to this central area now, and one block from the end here, I'm going to take that out. And similarly at this end, take that out. 2 leaf blocks, and I'm going to waterlog those. Now, you could not use the leaf block and just put a puddle of water in there, but the leaf block is easier to put a block on top of, so that's why I've done it. Get 2 observers and place them on top of the leaf block, so the redstone bum is facing outwards and the faces are facing towards each other. Get a piston, so the piston faces are facing the same way as the observers, exactly like that. Take out those 2 blocks in the middle, take out those 2, and take out those 2. Get 2 hoppers, place 1 there, and 1 there, and then get dirt, place dirt there, dirt there, dirt there, and dirt there. You're then going to get a block and you're going to place it on the back of that piston. You're going to come around the other side, back of the piston, exactly like that. You're going to hoe all of this dirt, and that's stage 1. We then put a double chest on top of those hoppers, so the hoppers run into the chest, and we're going to plant in front of this observer, we're going to plant a melon, and in front of this observer, we're going to plant a pumpkin. It doesn't matter which way around you go. We're then going to put a redstone dust there and a redstone dust there. And similarly at the back, redstone dust there, redstone dust right there. We can now start to block all this stuff off. We're going to put a glass there, and a glass there. Then we're going to block this off with actual blocks. I'm going to leave this bit open for now, and I'll show you why in a sec. I'm going to come along the back, and we're going to block all this out with blocks as well. And we're going to put a few levels on this. And this isn't as tricky as you might think. Place a leaf block on top of both of those observers, and then a solid block on top of both of the pistons. You can then put another piston on top of that block, there and there, and you can put another observer, making sure the redstone bum is facing outwards, on top of these leaf blocks like that. Now again, in Bedrock, if you waterlog these leaves now, it is going to go all over the place. Don't do that. You have to make sure you block the leaf blocks off. There's a specific order that you can do that works. I'm going to do it in the Bedrock order. In Java, it don't matter. You can waterlog anytime you like. First off, you're going to place the dirt on those 2 blocks there, the level of the leaf block, exactly like that. Then you're going to get yourself a slab. It's really important it's a slab, and put it on the top of the leaf block at the back. You can see that keeps that redstone from being able to move. We're going to get a block on the back of that piston again there. We're going to place our redstone dust on there and on there, just like last time. We're going to place a block there. Now that leaf is entirely surrounded. You can then come underneath and waterlog that leaf block, and it won't flood everywhere. You see, Bedrock players, I do love you. Do exactly the same on the other side, and then you can hoe both of those as well. You can then come round this with an extra layer of blocks all the way around here like this. But again, we're not putting anything along this row. I am again going to put blocks there, but then I'm going to put glass above it just like that. I'm going to keep the blocks coming all the way around, so as we have got a continual row. You can do this a number of times. I'm going to have 3 rows, I think. Don't forget to plant the pumpkins and melons on each level, and you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now, you can't light the redstone on any level except for the top one, but I've put a little torch just up here. That lights up the top row, which is at least something, but to be honest, that little redstone flash won't make too much difference in your world. Now, we've left this end open, so I'm going to block this off with some jungle wood like this. And when I've done this, an entire wall of it, I can then put some cocoa beans on. And there we have an instant cocoa bean farm. And I can knock out those 2 blocks there and put in a chest to store them in. We're now going to put another farm level on this corner. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place a slab right there and then a slab right there. It just creates a step that we can get up onto our system on here. I'm then going to get some dirt, and I'm going to place dirt along this area. So I'm going to put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So 7 in total, and again a row of 7 here also. 1 leaf block in the middle there, and 1 leaf block in the middle there, and I'm going to waterlog that. Remember, in Bedrock, you've got to make sure you block off that water. We then need to get ourselves another block right here. It doesn't matter what the block is, so I'm going to use one of those, and then we're going to start to build up a second layer of farm. I've placed a hopper going into a double chest at both ends of this farm. I've then put stairs upside down all the way around to trim it off. I'm then going to get myself some slabs, and I'm going to finish this off with slabs so as we've got a second floor all the way around as well. I put an extra slab on the end of that Sweetberry Farm right there so as I can get up on top of that chest and onto my second row. And I've duplicated what I did on the previous row before. So we've got a fence post, we've got a lantern, we've got our trapdoors. I've hoed all of this ground, and I've also blocked off this end because otherwise I will fall down into the bit below. I'm going to get myself some stairs. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to miss those. I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. On this one here, I'm going to place a block. On that one there, I'm going to place a block. Right now, I'm going to come out and I'm going to take this block out, and I'm going to put a dispenser upside down, facing down. I'm going to place a bucket of water in it. I'm then going to remove that. I'm going to come out so as I can get out, and I'm going to put the block back right there. I can then put another block there, and when I go back up to the top, what you'll see is I've now got the same system that I had downstairs, which is great. That's what I'm after. I'm going to put a block right there, and I'm going to put a button on either one of those. It really doesn't matter. I can then plant up this second layer, and I'm going to do beetroot and wheat seeds. I know, whoever uses beetroot, but you never know, you might get something to trade with it. It just happen, you know. Make sure you flap up the trapdoors so when that water flushes these seeds and the thing they've grown into all the way down, we don't get any bits flopping over the side and not going into our hopper. The trapdoors and the stairs, make sure everything goes into your storage. Okay, we can't put it off anymore. We've got to get this hopper minecart moving around. To do that, just walk in and give it a little bit of a push. That will continue going around and around now forever. You can see it's come back. There you go. So we're now going to get ourselves a composter, and we're going to place a composter on top of that hopper. We're then going to place a hopper on top of the composter like that. I'm then going to get rid of that block, and I'm going to place a chest on top of that hopper right there. I'm then going to put myself a trapdoor on top of that just because it looks a little bit nicer. I can then open that up once I've put myself a step, which I've forgotten to get. Let's go get a step. I'm going to grab a step. I'm going to put a step right under there. And that chest then can become our composting chest, and any excess vegan material can go straight into that chest and turn into bone meal that we can then use on here. We're now going to get our bamboo and our sugarcane in. I'm doing this last because I've only just set the minecart hopper off and I don't want to waste any drops. It'll just despawn after 5 minutes. However, if you did your minecart hopper earlier, just get this stuff in, it will start growing. Before you jump into your farm, however, I just want to top this off with some slabs. Now, you can top this off with whatever you want, and I'm going to be decorating this up so it doesn't look quite so flat and slabby in a moment. I'm only going to go across part way like this because what I want to be able to do is place some light inside these plant chambers. They don't need light to grow. However, it does make absolutely sure we don't get any daft spawnables, including bats, which can be really annoying in terms of noise. So I've put slabs all the way over except the very last hole on both of the tracks. So I'm going to drop myself down inside this hole. This is the bamboo hole. And in the second to last one, not that one, but this one, I'm going to pop a lantern. I'm then going to place bamboo on that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And then above here, I'm going to drop a lantern. I'm going to get some more bamboo all the way along. In the last one, I'm going to place bamboo as soon as I get there. But if I get here first, pop that there. I can then place that there. I can knock those two out because I can just step outside of it, put the bamboo back, and I can jump out because it's not too far and close it up. And repeat that for the sugarcane. Now remember, if you're extending this in Java, you need to make sure you put your leaf block here and waterlog it and then put some more dirt right there. You're not going to be able to do this in Bedrock because there's no way of blocking off that water underneath and it will wash away your rails. But you can, of course, have it without those extra ones at the end. So that's those two farms now working. We're going to do a little glow lichen farm. I'll pop a chest in there, and this one can have a hopper going into the back of it. I'm then going to get an observer, redstone bum facing backwards, and a block behind it, and then a dispenser facing there. I'm going to pop just one redstone dust onto that. We can then bring that around so as it is level with those two, exactly like that. We can then finish this off with a little bit of a roof. I can put spruce stairs there, and I put a button there, 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 and there, just to stop the lichen growing anywhere else. Go into the dispenser, put in some bone meal, and then once we've got that, we can put shift clicking some glow lichen onto the face of the dispenser like that. So when I press any of these two buttons, that creates growth of the glow lichen onto the observer, which then in itself, when I take that off, will make the dispenser go again. So I can get some shears, just keep bashing that glow lichen and harvest it as long as I've got bone meal. Dead quick and easy, that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 13 of the 14 farms that you're going to have in this little complex. The 14th farm is actually going to come as part of the decoration. I'll show you that right now. First thing I'm going to do is change up all the floor so as it's not iron blocks. That was only there just to guide me. And I'm then going to decorate this up so as it looks just a little bit less blocky. And included in that, I'm going to do the 14th farm. I'll show you when I'm done. And some of you may have guessed the 14th farm is a vine farm, so you can get yourself your mossy blocks. This is exactly what you need if you love building with that stony mossy material. I've actually not done very much extra to decorate this up at all. I've given the roof a little bit of extra height and carpeted the very top to stop spawns. I've also given some uprights using this oak wood with some barrels in there to give some extra accent and some buttons. I've used stairs and trapdoors just to give a little bit of extra shape, but other than that, it's pretty much just bushes. Because you know I love me bushes. So that's all very well in a flat world. I want to know what it looks like in a real world. Let's plonk it down and have a look. You know what? I think that looks alright. All I've done is add a path and a little bit of bushes, the odd tree, and I think we've got somewhere where you could even live. You could turn this into a base. Objective achieved. If you can think of any things I should have included in this footprint, how would you have done it? Let me know in the comments below. Or even better, let me know on Hive or Instagram or in my Discord. It would be great to hear from you on any of those things. If there are any other farms at all you'd like me to have a go at, whether it's for Bedrock or Java, and in any theme, the comments below are waiting for you. Go and use them. And if you haven't hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, use those as well whilst you're down there. And that is it from me today. I'll look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.